Order. Court is in session. In the case of the German people against members of NSDAP local group Munich, the defendants stand accused of the murder of Hans Naumann. Judge Ernst Braun presiding, with counsel Esther Katz speaking for the prosecution. Counsel Rudolf Scham representing the defendants Kiebitz and Faltmann. And counsel Sigmund Hauptner representing the defendant Schickert. How do you plead?
Innocent.
It's not guilty.
Not guilty then.
Not guilty, of course. This whole investigation is a farce.
Not guilty, Mr. Chairman.
I call on the prosecution.
I feel a little bit bad for Schickert. I don't feel that bad because they are all
Katz.
Nazis, but...
It's time to present your theory.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
I feel a tiny bit bad for Schickert and only Schickert.
His name was Hans Naumann. He was 77, retired. Innocent. He had a wife, Mrs. Ludmilla Naumann, whose testimony you've heard today. Together, they lived in a small house in the suburbs of Munich. A simple, small family, like so many others. They had an adult son, Jan. He was staying with them at the time. He wanted to help them around the house. At least till the end of the war, he'd say. On that morning, none of them could know that in only 2 days, their nightmare would be over. 2 days. 48 hours. That is, if not for the accused. Mr. Chairman, on April 28th, Hans Naumann was shot dead. Taken from his house under false pretenses, he was brought to the temporary location of the district office. He was locked in a brewery cellar, a damp storage room adapted into a makeshift cell. That's where, shortly later, he would be killed.
Okay. All right. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Execution was ordered by Herbert Schwarz, the district leader for the city of Munich. As the senior member of the NSDAP involved in the crime, he bears the main responsibility for Mr. Naumann's death. Mr. Schwarz is unfortunately deceased and as such cannot be tried. This does not, however, absolve his subordinates of their culpability.
Thank you, Ms. Katz. Does the defense have anything to add?
No, Mr. Chairman. We agree with the version presented by the prosecution.
See, it was all Schwarz.
That's right, we were just following his orders.
Silence. Mr. Scham, please remind your defendants of the appropriate behavior in court. Let the record show that the prosecution and defense are in agreement. Let's proceed. Ms. Katz?
All right, step 2. We are saying, and this is where we're saying that Kiebitz got called to the office.
Yes.
The defendants Faltmann and Schickert went to the prisoner's cell.
Objection. As per Mr. Kiebitz's and Mr. Faltmann's testimony, both of them went to the cell, together with Mr. Schickert.
Ms. Katz, can you present any evidence to support your claims?
Certainly.
Okay. Can you prove? Oh. Okay.
I think we put in our existing conclusion.
Yeah.
I think we're good.
Yep.
One suspect whose account we have not heard remains, Mr. Schwarz.
The account of a corpse. What a mumbo-jumbo.
Mr. Faltmann, please refrain yourself from commenting.
Yes, Mr. Schwarz is dead, but he wasn't during the original investigation. In 1947, he testified that at the time of the execution, he was in his office together with his driver, Mr. Kiebitz. At the time, he was in no danger, as opposed to the defendants today. There is no reason to believe he lied.
Ms. Katz, you've proven your point. Objection overruled. Please continue, Ms. Katz.
All right. So, we're saying that Schickert resisted. I don't remember. Oh, it'll bring up our thing in a second, I suppose.
Yeah.
Having seen the victim, Mr. Schickert began to question the order. As we learned from the testimonies, Mr. Nauman's age and physical frailty were evident. How could this be the man? How could he be guilty? The defendants had arrested him for tearing down a flag from its flagpole and beating up an officer. A tall flagpole, a young officer. Mr. Schickert concluded the man to be innocent. He refused to shoot.
Objection, Mr. Chairman. As both Mr. Kiebitz and Mr. Faltman testified, the one to question the order was Mr. Faltman. He had doubted its validity and attempted to stop the execution. Regretfully, he was unsuccessful.
Miss Guts, if you have any proof to back your theory...
Gladly, Mr. Chairman.
All right. Once again,
I would just
Yep.
use the conclusion we already made.
Yep.
A day after Hans Naumann was shot, Mr. Schickert was removed from his station and expelled from the NSDAP. A punishment that follows to the letter the consequences for insubordination, as outlined by Gauleader Solbrich's order.
Indeed. Mr. Scham, your objection is overruled. Miss Guts, if you would...
All right.
With the doubts voiced, threats were soon to follow. Threats by Mr. Faltman. He wasn't going to allow for this sort of insubordination. An order was an order. If his co-defendants continued to object, he would report them. And not just to Mr. Schwarz, to the Gestapo. I trust the implications of such a report are clear.
Objection.
Every time, Mr. Scham?
We cannot truly be sure any threats were actually made.
I don't like this guy. I don't like Rudolf Scham.
With the Gestapo.
Okay.
Exactly.
But he just said he's never reported to the Gestapo, and we know this.
Psychopath.
Oh, yeah, we know that in
Never
fact
had
you
anything
have,
to do
buddy.
with those monsters.
Silence, Mr. Faltman. Silence. Miss Guts, can you present any proof to support your claim?
Certainly.
All right. So yes, this is saying Faltman threatened him with the Gestapo. That we know that the group leader is the one who threatened it, and sure enough, here's him doing this.
Ludwig Steg was another member of the defendant's local group. Only 3 months before the events of this case, he was arrested by the Gestapo. While the acts and fate of Mr. Steg are of themselves of no direct connection to this case, I'd like to bring your attention to the beginning of the final paragraph. Mr. Steg was denounced by his direct superior. And who would that be? His local group leader, Alfred Faltman. Mr. Faltman may claim he had nothing to do with the Gestapo, but it's a lie.
Thank you, Miss Guts. Objection overruled. Miss Guts, proceed to your next point.
We've established the course of the crime up to its final moment. Only one question remains, the most important one. Who shot? Who killed Hans Naumann?
And we're just gonna say it's Schickert. He's the one holding the bag. Unfortunate, but again, he's a Nazi. Not really that unfortunate.
Defendant Karl Schickert. He might have followed orders. He might or might not have resisted. He might have been coerced. But in the end, the truth remains the same. Karl Schickert shot and killed the victim.
I must object, Mr. Chairman.
Let's hear it.
Mr. Schickert maintains he's innocent, that Mr. Kiebitz, and not him, was the one to shoot the victim. 2 witnesses might agree, but that can hardly be considered enough to prove a man guilty, especially considering the seriousness of the crime.
Miss Guts, if you would.
Certainly, Mr. Chairman.
All right, and then this is it. He was shot with 765. Schickert is the one that had that gun. That's all I have.
Yep,
Naumann
I think that's all we need.
was identified as resulting from a 7.65 Browning caliber. Only one of the defendants had a weapon with that caliber. An FN Browning model 1900 was given to the party member number 5186332, the defendant Karl Schickert.
Very well. I consider your claims proven. The prosecution presents a solid case. Before we proceed, Miss Katz, Mr. Sham, is there anything else you'd like to bring to this court's attention?
Yes.
Yes, there is, Mr. Chairman.
Did Mr. Schwartz know the victim was innocent? No.
No. Because we have the document that was on his desk that...
Yeah, so we have this
report. And then I would also say maybe the arrest file, the thing that like saying arrest Jan.
Correct, yeah.
Don't we have like an order from Schwartz that's like
Yeah,
arrest?
right here.
Yeah.
Yeah, right here. From Herbert Schwartz to this is why they attempted to arrest him in the first place.
Yes.
Local Group Faltman immediately set up an attachment to attach and interrogate.
Mm-hmm. And then the third thing we need is... I'm not sure.
Right here. I tasked them with catching the criminal. Yeah. Colleague, yeah, Alfred Faltman came to my office, said that he caught it,
Yep.
and said that I
Yep,
could...
you're right. That's it.
Oh, right here.
I'm not sure I follow your reasoning here. Is there anything else you can provide?
What?
What?
Okay. Maybe it's not this.
Yeah, it's definitely the detention report. That's gotta be right.
And the name of the... Maybe it's this? We know that Faltman was the one who arrested him, and
Yeah.
this is clearly falsified because it would have been very obvious. Faltman comes to here. Let's try this. There
I
we
was
go.
just following orders. We've heard these words today, more than once. That said orders came from Mr. Schwartz was one of the few points on which the defendants agreed. I'd like to bring your attention to another detail that their testimonies shared. At no point in any of their recollections did Mr. Schwartz himself meet the victim. It is the prosecution's belief that the district leader never knew who the defendants had brought. Schwartz didn't know the prisoner in the cell was not the man they were sent to arrest, that it was an innocent man. He couldn't know because the defendant Alfred Faltman lied, both to his superior and to this court. Mr. Faltman knew whom he took. He knew he was not the culprit. He had taken him as a hostage. Yet, to Mr. Schwartz, he reported bringing in Jan Naumann, the culprit. And so, believing a subordinate, Mr. Schwartz ordered the execution of, once again, Jan Naumann. The shooting...
So everyone sucks, but Faltman sucks the
The
most.
defendants did not
Pretty
follow
much.
any order. This innocent man was killed only because of the actions, the insistence, the lies and threats of Alfred Faltman. Mr. Chairman, the prosecution asks you to find the defendant fully culpable for this death.
Some serious accusations, Miss Katz. What motive did the defendant Faltman have for this?
To advance his career, because he got a promotion.
He did get a promotion.
He believed that having a suspect arrested and executed so fast would help his career.
Thank you, Miss Katz. I will take this revelation into consideration. Having considered the testimonies presented today, as well as the prosecution's evidence, this court has reached the following verdict. Firstly, in the case of the defendant Karl Schickert, born January 3rd, 1912, residing at Mauergasse 4 in Munich, for the crime of the manslaughter of Hans Naumann, this court finds the defendant guilty as accessory. The prosecution proved that he did shoot the victim, but only did so when forced, having been coerced by his co-defendant. Which brings us to the, at the time, local group leader. Now, the prosecution provided this court with plenty of evidence of the local group's wrongdoings. None of them had as serious and unsettling implications as the final revelation. Defendant Alfred Faltmann, born June 29, 1889, resident of Löwenweg 11, Munich. In the case of the manslaughter of Hans Naumann, considering the overwhelming evidence of your actions and their direct effect, this court finds you guilty of coercion, perjury, and manslaughter. It stands clear beyond reasonable doubt that it was by your independent initiative that Mr. Naumann was shot, a fact of which defendant Hermann Kiebitz was fully aware and which he decided to hide from this court, making him guilty as accessory to this manslaughter by the act of omission. With that, the cost of this trial will be covered by the defendants. Court adjourned.
Okay.
Yay!
All right, so all right, whatever. 99%, whatever. All right, so that's case one. There is another case to this, which
Then we'll play it another time because I sleep.
All right, yeah, no, I am sure we will tackle that another time. But for now, the real case summary contains spoilers for the solution of the case in the game. I think we're good. I think we got it.
Yeah.
Okay, so,
So yeah, this was all real.
yeah, Albert Faltman gathered a total of 6 men to arrest insurgents. Failing to find one of the perpetrators, they arrested the father, falsely reported to his father. Faltman then gave the order to execute the prisoner, believing he was the wanted insurgent. They all knew the victim's innocence. They refused to take part, then threatened by his remaining, blah, 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 blah. But then gave in to the threats. A second group member who did not hesitate at all shot the victim simultaneously. Okay, so maybe Kiebitz was there, and then he shot with him?
Possible.
Faltman, Schickert, and the second shooter stood for trial for murder before the Munich Regional Higher Court. Faltman in particular designed blah, blah, blah. He was found guilty, 15 years for manslaughter, aiding and abetting. All the names used in this game has been changed, but this story, okay, so the story is true. It doesn't say, alright, so it doesn't say why Faltman did it, just that that was more or less exactly what happened.
Okay.
Okay?
I've heard those words many times.
Oh, we got a closing cutscene.
The faces, the clothes, the crimes. But the words stayed the same. I just followed orders. It wasn't an order that ended Mr. Naumann's life. They did. With their cowardice, obedience, pride. They all killed Hans Naumann. Men like Faltmann don't believe they can be punished. They don't think they should be. All were surprised at his silence when the verdict was pronounced. Him, possibly, most of all. He offered no resistance, no counter, no boisterous denial. For possibly the first time in his life, Alfred Faltmann didn't know what to say. Schickert was raving as they brought him out of the courtroom. So what if he pulled the trigger, he yelled. He followed orders. There, those words again. Almost as if he believed them himself. What makes a man lie? Friendship, loyalty, fear. What makes a man so obsessed with terms like honor or duty? Simply ignore the murder of an innocent man. Not just ignore it. Allow, aid, facilitate it. For he could have stopped it. All he'd have to do was tell the truth. For he had every opportunity to stop it. Instead, he chose to kill an innocent man. They all did. They all knew what they were doing. They all knew they didn't have to. All three of them, through their actions or their inaction, they choose. Miss Naumann cried at the verdict. She thanked us. She even tried to smile. I wouldn't say it ended there for her. I don't think it ever did. And as for our Miss Cutts, the case was her victory. And it did bring her the recognition she deserved. But with recognition also comes attention. But that's a story for another day.